For my daughter's death, so far, there have been, since the report to the police, there have been investigations going on. There was an autopsy carried out, the result which was released about 3 weeks back, and the police have had the report since then. I have asked for it through my lawyer. He wrote to them, but they said they can't release the report to me. Rather, they read the call for a meeting and read the summary of the coroner's inquest form that just stated the cause of death, not the full detail of the report. And then they say they can't release it because it will jeopardize their investigations. So as it stands now, the medical reports and the autopsy reports have not been released to me. I have not seen any of those reports officially. But I believe as the mother of the child, I should have those reports to at least have something to hold on that will tell me this happened to your daughter and this was the result of the investigation we carried out on her.
Keren's mom every day seemed to come with a lot more challenges. She's even unable to come to terms with the way police is handling, I dare say mishandling this investigation. And when we say police, we refer to the FCT Police Command. We refer to especially the person in charge of this case, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Pam Joseph. Let us make it abundantly clear. This is an emotional moment for the family. The only way you can help the family have closure is for the police to do genuine, thorough, impartial investigation and come to a justiciable conclusion. Now, let us make it clear for those who do not understand that the right of a family to the medical report that explains the death of a family member is a right, not a privilege. That is to say that the family of late Keren-Happuch are entitled, not even to photocopy, they are entitled to a certified true copy of the medical report, which of course we got through the back door, and it says clearly that Keren-Happuch was raped. Condom was left inside of her by a rapist. That condom infected her with sepsis, spiked her blood sugar, and she eventually died of hyperglycemia. Now, the autopsy report came out 3 weeks ago. We've been tracking, so following tracking, we are aware that they got the autopsy report 3 weeks, exactly 3 weeks today. But 2 weeks after the police, FCT Police Command got the autopsy report, and they did not say anything, they did not invite the family of the deceased to inform them about it. The lawyer to the family decided to apply via the Freedom of Information Act, FOI Act, requesting for a copy of the medical report and a copy of the autopsy report. Now, that was 2 weeks and 2 days after the police got that autopsy report. And that report, that application under the FOI Act was addressed to the Commissioner of Police, FCT Police Command, Mr. Babaji. Eventually, upon this application, it now compelled the police to call a meeting between the family of Keren-Happuch, their lawyer, Premiere Academy, and their lawyers. Now, when that meeting was called, of course, based on the fact that an FOI application had been made by Keren's family through their lawyer, when that meeting was called, the police, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Fompam Joseph, outrightly told the lawyer and Keren's mom, told the lawyer, she wasn't even there, told the lawyer that we are not going to give you either of both reports. In the 21st century, a child dies and you say you will deny the mother, the family, of reports explaining the death of the child. I think it is reprehensible. It is way out of mark. Nothing justifies it. By due procedurally and legally, the family is entitled to those reports. More so that since they denied them of access to it, the family decided through the lawyers to invoke the Freedom of Information Act. Once you do that, you are duty bound to release that report. They never did. Now, what is curious, every time we speak, especially I representing the Coalition of Gender-Based Violence Responders, we have been saying that the police, in the way it is conducting this investigation, is conferring undue advantage to Premiere Academy Lugbe. We put it on record now again that there is reason for us to believe that the police is undermining the investigation it's meant to carry out. I say this especially coming from the position of knowledge and strength, that on September 3, 2021, on September 5th or 6th, I got a love letter from the chambers of AS Awomolo, SAN, and the letter is to the effect that Awomolo SAN's chamber is representing Premiere Academy Lugbe as their client, as their lawyers. Now that letter also, without wanting to distract us with the fact that the letter is asking that I withdraw certain statements within 3 days, otherwise they will go to court and sue us for defamation. That is not my point. The content of that letter is another resounding and incontrovertible documentary evidence that the police is undermining the investigation by giving undue advantage to Premiere Academy Lugbe, by giving them prior notice of the outcome of autopsy reports. I say that because in the letter dated September 3, 2021, from the chamber of AS Awomolo, SAN, it clearly referred to the result of the autopsy, even quoting some things that it says the autopsy report does not carry. For instance, it says that you are well aware, you have been making claims, you are well aware that the autopsy report did not say that Keren was raped, condom was left inside of her, condom was in her body. At September 3rd, when that letter was authored, and by September 5th, when I was served a copy of the letter, neither Keren's family and their lawyers or Premiere Academy, they had not been invited together to speak. The police had not invited them to speak about the report. So how come a senior advocate of Nigeria's chamber will be sharing details of the of the autopsy report, which had not been disclosed officially to either party publicly at any point in time. This is another resounding and incontrovertible evidence that the FCT Police Command is undermining this case, is giving priority information and prior information about its findings to Premiere Academy Lugbe, whereas the mother and family of Keren-Happuch are, by natural law, natural justice and our laws, is first and foremost entitled to the medical report and the autopsy report. But let us say, for the basis of argument, that yes, it has become a subject of a criminal investigation, and so the police feels that they ought to have it, then we will concede that they can have a copy of the autopsy report, but we will not waive the right of the family of Keren-Happuch to a copy. That is their daughter. They are entitled to a copy of the medical report. It is for this kind of shenanigan being orchestrated by the FCT Police Command that the mother of Keren-Happuch is distraught and cannot even find her voice at this press conference. It is disheartening that in a 21st century Nigeria, where we are talking about child sexual abuse and sexual and gender-based violence becoming a pandemic of monumental proportion, the Nigerian police, especially the FCT Police Command, will be handling a case in a manner that compromises the integrity of the investigation. And we want the police, the FCT Police Command, DCP Pam Joseph, to explain how, before the FOI application done by the lawyer to Keren-Happuch's family, how the Premiere Academy Lugbe and its lawyer would have had advantage of speaking about the same autopsy report. So there's a problem here fundamentally. And we are taking steps. We are not just here to talk about this and leave it. We are taking steps because we know, and let us put on record Amnesty International's efforts. When we were threatened, when my person and my family were threatened by the FCT Police Command because we dared to hold them to account, Amnesty International wrote to the Inspector General of Police and said, you must protect Lemi Uregbe and the family. That's, I say it to you, the Inspector General of Police did not see a copy of that letter. Amnesty International also wrote a separate letter to the IG of Police asking for thorough, efficient, impartial investigation of this case, reminding the Inspector General of Police of Nigeria's obligation under international treaties and conventions on the need to make sure that the perpetrator is caught and brought to book. The Inspector General of Police also did not see that letter. That is a matter of worry, because if you will keep letters that draw the attention of the Inspector General to a matter like this, you keep it away from him, then something is wrong with the system. We need to put on record that the person of this Inspector General of Police is a man we respect. He has a good track record, and we know that if these facts are not hidden from him, he will take steps. And let us make it clear, no amount of threats, whether threat of defamation, threat of litigation, will cow us. We will not be silenced. Keren is dead, but Keren in her death has found more voices. All of you media people must be part of the voices that have been multiplied through Keren's death, because injury to one is injury to all. No child is safe until all children are safe. Wherever you are, do not think your family members who are girls are safe. your boys too get to suffer this, they are safe? No. The only way we can get society safe is to hold the police accountable, is to expose infractions when we see. And the Coalition of Gender-Based Violence Responders is determined to continually, within its rights guaranteed under the Constitution, to expose infractions where it sees it. This is one infraction by the FCT Police Command, and we are ready to go places to prove our points, because in an interview granted by this newspaper to Premiere Academy's acting principal, Mr. Chris Akinsonwo, he referred copiously to the medical report, which shows that they also have access to the medical report. The lawyer to Premiere Academy has referred, before even an address by the police on the medical report, on the autopsy report, had also referred to some things in the autopsy report, which raises fundamental questions, and they have a lot to do to explain it out. We must put on record that Keren's family is grieving. The mother is distraught. She cannot find our voice. She cannot find her voice, but we are voices that will continue to speak, and we will not be cowed. We will speak within our legitimate and constitutional rights to do so.